You ever craved something and it turns out to be so much better than you could have ever imagined? That's what happened to me today when I was craving lasagna soup. It's getting a little chilly outside, so that means it's soup season. I started by making my mozzarella by combining some milk, citric acid, and rennet, heating it up, cutting it into cubes, letting the whey separate, and then straining it. I returned my curds back to hot water, let them melt, stretched them out, warmed my ball of mozzarella, and set that aside while I got started on my pasta dough. I combined flour, eggs, olive oil, and a pinch of salt. I started kneading my dough but got tired, so Lucky took over. I let that rest for about an hour while I got started on my sauce. I chopped up some celery, moved on to some onion, and lastly some carrot. I seared off some ground beef and ground pork. I then added my celery, onion, and carrot. Let that saute for a few minutes before adding in my tomato paste. I let that go, added in some crushed tomatoes, some stock, and some Italian spices. And while that was simmering and getting to know each other, I rolled out my pasta, cut it into irregular shapes before I transferred that over to the sauce and let it cook in the sauce. After about 4 minutes, I started slicing up my mozzarella, putting that in the sauce as well so it could melt. And once the mozzarella had melted, it was time to plate. I topped this with some Parmesan cheese and some spring onions. This hit the spot and was absolutely stunning, and I can't wait for colder weather.